Hi guys, this is your reading for Monday the 18th of December. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of today. Okay, so everything is wands. Okay, wands has to do with fire. It has to do with life purpose. It has to do with passion. And it has to do with getting things done and moving things forward. So the first card, the Five of Wands, is about trivial, petty conflict. So you may have lots of ideas that come in, lots of insights. They may conflict with other ideas and plans that you may have had in the past. And you may feel somewhat overwhelmed with all of the plans and ideas and inspirations that you get, to the extent that you may be somewhat overwhelmed. What's interesting is also that we have a new moon in Sagittarius here on the Monday, which is pulling in a lot of fiery energy. So it kind of makes sense that we have all of this, all of these wands here, because wands is all about fire and it's about growth and moving things forward. If you look at each one of these rods, it's got leaves kind of sprouting out of it. So it's about growth, it's about getting ideas and kind of giving them life, or the ideas themselves have life and they encourage you to move forward with them. So what you'll notice is that the problem isn't a lack of inspiration or ideas. You'll have loads and loads of ideas, but it's about sorting those ideas so that you don't, trip over yourself with all of these amazing plans. So just get organized, and if you're feeling super inspired, just write down all of the things that you have in store for future, the things that you intend to take care of over the next couple of days or the next month even, and to just get organized with that. The next card is the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands has this sense of someone who has got an idea and who is committed to a cause. He's trying to push his way forward, but he's got all of these things in place which are kind of blocking him. So things feel like they're not moving quickly enough. You've got so much going on, so much fire, so much drive that you just want to gallop through, and you want to get rid of all of this stuff which is in your way, and you want to bulldoze your way forward. But that really isn't the best way, because each one of these ones is valuable and each one of these is an idea. So don't just pick one and dismiss and discard all of the rest. Again, get organized and make sure that you have these in place for times when you're less inspired, so that you can draw on something that interested you and that kind of came into your consciousness on a day like today, and that you can use in future. The other thing to watch out for is if you're working with other people today, everyone's going to be inspired. Everyone's going to really be riled up. I mean, we've got this, it's the build up to Christmas. So people are busy, people are a little bit stressed out anyway. So if you do have to kind of compromise with other people and everyone's shouting over each other to try and get their voices heard, there's the potential for conflict, and there's the potential to feel like, oh my God, all these other people are shouting louder than I am. I'm being sidelined and marginalized here, and I'm almost being pushed backwards. So it's important to make sure that you don't feel like you have to yell to kind of get yourself heard. If people aren't paying attention, if people are doing their own thing and they don't have time to kind of listen to what you've got going on because they're so inspired and enthusiastic about their own stuff, then do something that you care about on your own. The one thing today that you're not going to get is a whole bunch of attention from other people, because everyone is kind of focused on their own thing. There's a lot going on. People are busy. People are trying to keep up with things. And if you go around today saying things like, oh, you could have thought about how I would feel, or if you spent a little bit of time stepping outside of yourself and thinking about other people sometimes, then this wouldn't have happened. Those kind of statements are just going to be inflammatory, and they're just going to cause even more conflict. The thing that you need to kind of concern yourself with today, or focus on really, is your own work that you've got to do, your own inspirations that you want to implement, your own path that you want to walk, and really trying to minimize conflict and keeping things simple so that you can move forward, organizing things so that you don't feel blocked and that you don't feel like things aren't moving quickly enough, so that you can move forward and that you can achieve the things that you want on this day. Now, the final card, the Eight of Wands, is even more inspiration, and it usually represents news coming in or information being delivered. It's a positive card, so it's good news. It's some sort of result being achieved, or if you look at it a different way, this card could be almost like, I'm trying to move forward, but this is being blocked by all these wands. They're moving through. So the path is going to clear again, and the information and the ideas you get will enable you to move forward. So pace yourself, first of all, get organized, try and avoid petty conflicts. There's so much fire here that it's really about getting grounded, doing one thing at a time, keeping things simple, and keeping good records, I would say. Because sometimes, you know, if you're trying to create something, if you're in a productive mood, sometimes there's no inspiration there at all. And that's why I think it's really useful to sometimes have a journal or something like that, where you write down all of the exciting, wonderful things that you want to do on days like this, because you can't possibly implement each one of these ideas. You have to some of them are going to have to go by the wayside. And that's a shame, because each one of these has potential and is part of your life purpose. Each one of these is a path that could grow and add something wonderful to your life. So it's important to maintain that. Again, don't put all your eggs in one basket, I would say, like this guy, because if you do, then you feel like everything else has to go. Keep your mind open, be organized, and keep things simple. Yes, do one thing at a time, but don't dismiss everything else for the sake of one particular project. They all have equal value and equal worth. Number-wise, we've got 8 and 7 is 15 and 5 is 20. 20 reduces to 2 in numerology, and 2 is about relationships and cooperation. So that's the thing that may be a little bit difficult. You certainly have a great relationship with yourself and your own ideas and your own inspiration. What I think may need a little bit of work is the patience, that river here, water, that's the only water we've got anywhere, is having the patience and the understanding for someone else's ideas, someone else's enthusiasm for things, and being able to put your own things aside to be of service or to support someone else, rather than saying, I don't have time for you, I'm doing my own thing, back off, and then creating conflict or creating situations where someone's sulking and upset with you, or they don't feel heard, or they don't feel like you've paid enough attention. Those are the kind of pitfalls here. So the best thing on this day is your level of inspiration, energy, enthusiasm, and drive. The thing that's not so great is relationships and being considerate and making time and being patient with others. That's where you have to put in some extra effort and some extra work. So that said, try and arrange the day so that you can kind of progress with your own ideas as much as you want, and where you're not in a situation where you constantly have to put your own ideas aside and have to compromise all day. If you're in that kind of situation, then it's going to be much more frustrating than, for instance, if you can go to your studio and paint all day and get all your wonderful creative ideas down on down in paint or down on paper, whatever it may be. So it certainly is a positive day. Also, what I just remembered is 2 also represents enthusiasm. So it's all about energy. You really hit the ground running this week and you start with a bang. You're certainly not going to be low on energy here. It's just about maintaining that energy, doing one thing at a time and not spinning yourself out and trying to do so much at once that you end up paralyzing yourself and saying, I can't do anything because I'm just so stressed. It's all too much. So prioritize and keep things very, very clear and simple. So I hope you have a great day. If you would like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Please remember to subscribe to this channel and I'll speak to you tomorrow.